So welcome back to video number 2, which is platform comparisons. And the reason why this is so important is because the problem and the reason why most people fail at specific social platforms is they enter that platform thinking that they can use what they do on Facebook on Instagram, or what they do on YouTube on Instagram. But the reality is that you are entering a totally different culture. So imagine entering a totally different culture and trying to do something that works in a different culture. That's not going to work, right? So you need to know the differences, and you need to make sure that you're in the right mindset before you actually move in. So did you know that there's a big difference between Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram? Well, let's talk about that. So knowing how they behave, how users behave, how they expect you to behave, and their expectations of you are important. All right. So that increases your sales, your success rate on all that. So this is where it's easy to fail as often. We enter a specific culture, like I said, that has certain expectations, and not following these rules just gets you avoided or seen as a spammer. So you do not want to be seen as a spammer or be seen as an outsider. You want to be seen like you are part of the culture. All right. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. So let's talk about the differences. YouTube, people go here to learn how to do something. So you got a lot of DIYers, or people who like to do things themselves. Like, say, for example, you break something on your wall, you need to learn how to patch it up. You go on YouTube, you learn how to do things. Plus, people go there to kind of de-stress. They like to watch entertaining videos. They like to watch, people singing or people dancing, or learn how to do something, basically. So that's what YouTube is. You can't really take that same concept and bring it over to Instagram because it's totally different, right? Facebook is a great place for people to see what's happening, to discover what is happening in the world, what their friends are doing, what people that have similar interests are doing. They can join groups and all of that. So it's all about discovery. All right. So many different ways of discovery. Now, Instagram, on the other hand, is where people come here to get inspiration, to get ideas. So they might have discovered something on Facebook, but they want to get more ideas about it from Instagram. So if you'll notice, Instagram is a platform with a lot of beautiful, aesthetically pleasing images. So that's another thing. You want to make sure that you have really aesthetically pleasing images. So if you're not a person that create really good images, you're going to need to have a program to do that. And we'll talk more about that later on. You can use these programs to create beautiful looking quotes, beautiful looking images, and all that. But that's something to keep in mind. But people come here to get ideas. They tend to follow brands. They want to know more about the brand, right? They want to follow their favorite celebrities. They want to follow the lifestyles. They want to see what's happening. So I'll give you some examples and concrete situations that you can actually get a better idea of how all of this works. But really, what I'm trying to set you up for is success, and set you up for the right mindset so that you move in and you're able to close more sales, close more leads, generate more followers and fans. And that's the whole goal at the end of the day. Now, Instagram and Facebook have very different audiences. Now, you'll notice now that Facebook has bought out Instagram, but they still have very totally different audiences. Something that works on Facebook may not work on Instagram. So just keep that in mind. Different platforms, even though something works there, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work at Instagram. And I'm going to show you how to make sure that you get things working and all that. Now, like I said, you'll notice that Instagram has a lot of aesthetically pleasing photos. So you'll need to make sure that you focus on that, and make sure that you show that your company, your brand, and all that looks really, really nice and appealing. Now, here's a little tip. on your Instagram profile, when people go to the Instagram profile, they're going to see about a few images. And people will normally judge you based on the first 9 photos in your profile. And based on that, they will decide to stay or they will decide to leave. So you got to make sure that you choose your best 9 photos forefront. So when somebody comes to your Instagram profile, they see the best of the best, right? All right, so now that we've talked about that, and now you have a better idea of how Instagram works, let's jump on in and go to video number 3 and talk about how to start out on the right foot. All right, so welcome back. This is video number 3, and let's talk about starting on the right foot. So you learned in the previous video that you can't jump on Instagram and just sell, and sell. You can't do any type of direct selling. Selling is in a different way. It's a very indirect selling, and I'll talk more about that in just a minute. And this is why most people fail. That's what they do. They jump on Instagram assuming it's Facebook, and they can't figure out why they're not making sales, all right, or why they're not getting fans. So let's make sure that you start out on the right foot, all right? So the secret here is to build a brand or a lifestyle. So if you think about what I talked about earlier in the previous video, I said that people go to Instagram because they want to know more about a brand. Maybe they discovered the brand or the lifestyle in Facebook, but then they want to go to Instagram and they want to learn more. So this is where they follow people, and you'll see lifestyle wise, they'll post pictures of themselves, they'll post pictures of their life in relation to what they do, just to basically build a personal relationship. So think about Facebook as, okay, I discovered you and I am more part of a community. But Instagram is like, okay, I get to see more about what's happening in your life, not just about related to what we're interested in, both of us, like shared interest wise, but I get to see what's in your life, what's happening, what the good, the bad. So you're basically building a relationship. So the end goal for you should be to become an influencer, which means, a brand that will have real influence on people's decisions. So you can influence people by the pictures that you post, basically. And people are waiting for that kind of stuff. They want ideas, they want inspiration, they want quotes. So you'll notice a lot of quotes are on Instagram. You'll notice some quotes on Facebook as well, but you'll notice a good amount on Instagram, and you'll notice a lot of those type of images. So everything from about what to wear, what to buy, where to shop, what to do, and where to go. So you see what I'm saying here? It's a lifestyle mentality. Society has changed so drastically that back in the day, you could just say, go buy this, and they would go buy that. They would take your word for it. But now they want to see that you're genuine, that you're a real person that they can actually deal with. So before you can sell, they need to get, to know you, and you need to get people to follow you, of course, right? So you need to build a following before you can actually sell. So like I said, in our society nowadays, people want to know you. They have discovered you on Facebook, and they want to hear all about your lives, your drama, everything. So now you got to pick and choose what you post. So let me give you an example here. Let's say that you are a scuba diver, all right? So on your Instagram profile, you would show a typical day as a scuba diver. So, things you do, happy times, sad times, things you run into, problems you run into as a scuba diver, the type of equipment you would buy, what tools are great, what tools are not, all that. So why would you want to do that? Well, if you think about the dollar signs, you think about the profit. As a scuba diver, you could be showcasing tools that you are using. And this could easily translate into, let's say, for example, a Shopify store where you sell scuba equipment. Maybe you can do an AliExpress drop shipping thing where they buy the product, you ship it from AliExpress, you get a cut of it. And you don't even have to actually stock any type of inventory in your Shopify store. So that's something to look forward to from Instagram. You get to indirectly sell about things, because at the end of the day, people are going to want what you have. They feel, okay, if I have the same software tools, or if I have the same tools or equipment that you have as a scuba diver, or as whatever you're trying to do as a lifestyle or brand, they're more likely to buy it, right? So it can be Shopify store, it can be an affiliate promotion, it can be a sponsor post from a scuba gear company, which we'll talk more about later down the road. But before you can do all of that, you need to have a brand. You need to have the ability to create a lifestyle, right? So now let's move on to video number 4, and let's talk about how to build a brand and how to build a lifestyle and do it all properly. Okay, welcome back. This is video number 4, and let's talk about how to build a brand or a lifestyle. So now that you understand why you need to inspire people by building a brand attached to a lifestyle, let's discuss how you can actually do this in the real world. All right. So a brand is more than just a logo. You can go on graphicriver.net or any other site and get a logo. That's not a brand. All right. I want you to understand that, because I feel like a lot of people get confused. They feel like, okay, I'm going to get a logo, I'm going to get a website, I'm going to set it up, and that's it. It's more than that. All right. So I want to make sure that we get in the right mindset. You're going to be able to succeed in all of that. So it's an attachment or an identity. That's what a brand is. And the lifestyle itself just helps kind of build and grow the brand. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if I don't have that lifestyle? Well, just wait a minute and I'll talk about that in just a minute. All right. So try to figure out, as of now, what sort of identity you want to create as part of that brand. And then figure out what people want to be like, what they aspire to be, and all that, right? Because our society has changed to the point where people want to find their identity. If they can find their identity inside of your brand, or even if it's just a little piece, they are more likely to feel attached to your brand. And then they're more likely to follow you. They're more likely to buy from you, because they feel like they found a piece of their identity through you, and you help them do that. So obviously, as a brand, you want to help them find that piece of their identity. You want to help them in the long run. If they can feel that you're genuine, they're more likely to follow you, right? So, I mean, if you think about yourself, if you find something about yourself that could potentially improve yourself, improve your hobby, improve your likes, and avoid the dislikes and all that, you're more likely to trust that brand, that person, that company, right? So same kind of concept here. They want to find and buy things that express who they are. So if you can help them do that via the lifestyle, via the brand, then you're going to be able to close a lot of sales on Instagram. So in our last example, as a scuba diver, what we can do is you might want to attract, let's say, newbie scuba divers or expert scuba divers. So these are very, very, very different audiences. But it's crucial to know that ahead of time, because expert scuba divers might want a certain thing. And then, of course, newbie scuba divers might want a certain thing as well. So in other words, knowing who your audience is very, very important. So think of your own business, what you're trying to sell, and build a lifestyle around that. And think about, what you're wearing, what you buy, the software tools you're buying, the physical goods you're buying, the ebooks, the educational material that you're buying. Just think of everything as part of that lifestyle. All right. So it really, what this allows you to do is it really allows you to expand potentially your profit margin. So instead of selling just one thing, you could be selling many different things that surround that particular product. Now, once you've gotten to this point, then it's time to think of a logo. All right. And you can easily get this off of graphicriver.net, or you can go to upwork.com. That's upwork.com. And you can find a graphic designer, a logo creator designer, and get one created for you. Now, when you create a logo, you want to specifically choose something that relates to your niche. So a scuba diver attracting newbie scuba divers, you could find a scuba diver logo and name it something that would attract your audience. So newbie scuba divers are obviously going to want to learn from expert scuba divers, and of course the same thing. So they might be attracted to a certain element, but they're still going to have a very different mindset, right? Newbie scuba divers, they might be more likely to buy pretty much everything. Expert scuba divers may be more reluctant, right? Or more skeptical. So that's just something to think about as you begin to build your brand. So a quick recap here: make sure to create an identity and be ready to inspire. All right. So that's what it really comes down to. And that's what brings us to the next question, which is what creates inspiration, which we'll talk more about in video number 5.